What is up, guys, and welcome back to Rags to Riches 3, the series where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2009, work away through all of the Codemasters games, and then try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2017. We are here, though, in the 2010 season. It is, of course, the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the 2010 season. But before we get into today's episode, if you are new around here, first of all, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, go catch up with the card annotation in the top right-hand corner of your screens. You will find the whole entire playlist if you've missed any episodes, and there will also be a link in the description. But let's have a look at the standing order before we get into today's race as well. It's currently in P6 in the Drivers' Championship, which is pretty decent, but it is a Lotus seat for F1 2011. But we are only 9 points away from Felipe Massa. Of course, he re-overtook us last time around at the Korean Grand Prix after not a very good race for myself. We could have definitely done better there. So hopefully we can have a good final 2 rounds to really start to close in on Felipe Massa and retake that 4th position in the Drivers' Championship. But without any further ado, let's head over to the race weekend for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Here we go then, the penultimate one-shot qualifying session. Oh my god, we've just gone straight through Nico Hulkenberg. Okay, right, this was a little bit of a shock to jump into the qualifying session with. Anyway, running wide on turn 1, completely missing the apex through there. And also not the best lines through turn 2. We're getting past Nico Rosberg through turn 3. And now we can start to focus on our own qualifying lap. What will the lap time be good enough for? We're aiming, of course, for at least the top 12 to try and push on and get some points from there. But let's see. Oh, wow, that's not a good start to the lap. Running wide on the exit of turn 4 into turn 5. Let's see, though, what we can do. Okay, then, only one real proper corner left to go in this qualifying session, and then that will be the end of the lap here in Brazil. Through the left-hander, back on the power, and then all the way down in towards turn 1. So, front aero wing down. Let's try and get the best straight line speed that we possibly can through this left-hander. Now, down towards the line. What is the lap time going to be good enough for here today? It's 2 seconds slower. It's P13, which at the end of the day, I'll take that. I will take that. That is a really good qualifying session. I'm happy with that, but the question is, will we stay there? And yes, we do. P13 in the qualifying session, just missing out on my own target of P12. I would have loved to have got 12 or above in the qualifying session. There is definitely room to improve on the lap as well. There was a couple of mistakes down towards turn 1, turn 4, and around the midway section in the hairpins as well. So definitely some time to improve in the actual race, and hopefully if we can do that, we can start to put some pressure on the leaders. Mark Webber, though, he is starting on pole, 7 thousandths of a second separating him and his teammates. So close between those two. Lewis Hamilton lines up in 3rd. Jenson Button makes it McLaren 2nd row lockout with the 2 Ferraris on the 3rd row. Alonso in 5th. My rival Massa in 6th. Of course, remember, I need to beat Button, Alonso and Massa. I need to beat all of them. It's no good just beating one of them, because the other one will probably then just leapfrog me in the championship. I need to beat all 3 of them over the course of these final 2 races. Nico Rosberg, though, qualifies in 7th. Michael Schumacher 8th. Robert Kubica 9th. And then Vitaly Petrov in 10th. So, what can I do from 13th on the grid in the penultimate round of the 2010 season? Let's find out. It's race day here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got Mark Webber in pole. Felipe Massa lines up in 6th. Myself in 13th. And Kamui Kobayashi directly behind me in P15. Right, here we go then. Brazil. And we need to try and work our way through the field if we want to put some pressure on our championship rivals. As the lights coming on now here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. We need a good start off the line. It's not exactly the best, but we are going to go up the inside of all of these drivers down in towards turn 1. See what we can do, and what a start that is up the inside of all these drivers. Now picking the gap between Rosberg and Massa. Wow, look at that. For a start, straight in between those two, picking the smallest of gaps, like threading a needle through there. And there we go in the end. Job done on those guys. We're right behind Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso at the moment. I've got Massa on my left-hand side, but he wasn't able to go for an overtake through there. Let's see what we can do, though, on Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso, because, of course, remember, those two are my championship rivals as well. We need to get past those two if we want any chance of getting a good result in the championship. Little contact with myself and Jenson Button. Decided to back out for going for that overtake just because it was a little bit unfair to do it through contact. Okay, we've got a driver in the pits now. It's Mark Webber here today. So that looks like he is actually committed now to the two-stop strategy in today's race. I mean, that's very good for me, but it does mean that Lewis Hamilton will be leading this race and have a great chance of getting the race win. I mean, as long as it's not Jenson Button or Fernando Alonso, I'm not really too fussed who gets the race win. If Jenson Button is the next guy ahead of me, and then Fernando Alonso is first out of the bunch, then that's okay. I'm happy with those results, but I just need to make sure I stay ahead of Felipe Massa. Okay, we've got a couple more drivers into the pits now on lap 4 of this Brazilian Grand Prix. That now moves me up into P3 for the race, as Massa once again having a look up the inside. Can he get the job done now into turn 2? No, he can't. I've squeezed him out this time around. That gives Nico Rosberg the opportunity to go for the overtake. We've actually, in fact, moved up into second place. Lewis Hamilton is the only one yet to pit now in this Brazilian Grand Prix, as Massa darts it up the inside, down in towards turn 4. I've lost the back end. Thank you so much, Massa. Oh my god, I didn't even mean to take him out then. I lost the back end. His car was there. He went for the overtake, and he actually saved my life. Well, maybe, okay, maybe not my life, but he saved my race. Because if he wasn't there, we would have spun the car. Everybody would have overtaken me, and I would have been right down at the back of the field. So, thank you very much, Felipe Massa. Here we go then, pit stop time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We do need to be careful when we come into the pit lane, because we don't, of course, want to get a penalty for speeding. So let's make sure we slow down very, very early on and get that limiter on, then get back up to speed, and then come into pits. Okay, that was good. We've got Rosberg behind us, and then we have, of course, got another driver behind him on the brakes, coming into the pit box, and we don't run over any other crew. Right, get on the way. Go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No! It's not what we need! Why? Why does that have to happen? Oh my god, I thought we had it then. We didn't need to wait that long for the Mercedes. We honestly didn't need to wait that long. We could have got out. We could have easily got out ahead of both of those drivers. Yet, unfortunately, I'm behind all of them. Oh my god, this is not what I need. Everybody is just so much quicker than myself in a straight line. There's Petrov, who is currently running ahead of me in today's race. We are way down the field in P16. We've got drivers coming out the pit lane now, and unfortunately, I feel like they are going to get out ahead of me. So we've overshot turn 1 and had a terrible line through turn 2. That is... We're not even going to score points today now, are we? Honestly, I don't think we're going to be scoring points now. And it's just so frustrating to be in such a good position and have a chance to maybe fight for P4 in the championship. But in all honesty, I think it's getting away from us, and it's looking like we could be driving for Lotus. However, I am a believer of never giving up and just keep on pushing all the way to the end. So we will see what happens, but it's not looking good at this stage. Okay, we've got another driver. Well, a couple of drivers coming into the pits here on lap 8 of this Brazilian Grand Prix. It doesn't really help me out too much. It's not going to move me up too many positions in the race. But, you know, it will do at the moment. We will just have to keep on putting on the pressure and trying to get as many positions as we possibly can. Up into P14 now for the Brazilian Grand Prix, but it's still not any points. So, like I say, it's not what we need to be at the moment. Watch how quickly the AI will get away from me down this straight. I mean, they are just so quick in a straight line. I've got nothing else to fight with. I'm already in fast mix. Like, what else can I do? I've got my foot all the way down on the throttle pedal, and they get a massive gap on me through all the way down in towards turn 1. There is honestly nothing that I have to fight with in this BMW sub. I can catch up in the corners, but I just can't do anything in the straights. Okay, we've got our first couple of two-stop drivers coming into the pits now with those two right there. Felipe Massa just ahead of me, so he's still carrying on as we've gone very deep down in towards turn 1. But it looks like we are going to just about get through the center S's. Still in P12 though. Massa is also still out of the points. Whereabouts is Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso? Because of course those two get too many points on me, then it's going to be impossible for us to get back into P4. We'll just keep on pushing on with our race though. P12 at the moment. Can we get any points? Final lap then of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and I've got to say, it has probably got to be one of the most boring and pointless races of this whole entire season. I've had nothing to do after having an incredible start in the top 5, I think it was, or at least thereabouts, and now with nothing to fight for. P12 fighting for no points, running it wide. This car just understeers like an absolute bitch. Honestly, it's so goddamn frustrating that there's nothing for me to do really with this car. I just can't get it into any other corners. I can't catch up to any other teams, And yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be 0 points for me here today. But, you know, we'll see what we can do in the final round in Abu Dhabi. See if we've got a chance of maybe getting P4 in the Drivers' Championship. However, I feel like that's got away from me. This race today, if it's been a good race for both Button and Alonso, then unfortunately there is going to be no chance of us getting that P4 in the championship. We will just have to wait and see, though, as we come through the final couple of corners now down towards the line here in Brazil. And we're going to take home a very disappointing P12. Oh, what an awful race. What a boring, awful race that was. I'm just done. I honestly, with that race today, I just feel like I cannot be bothered with F1 2010 anymore. I'm glad that we've got one more race to go, because some of the races on this game are just, well, like this, you know. You have a good race, you get fucked over in the pit stop phase. There was no reason for us to be held up for as long as we needed to be, because we could have easily got out ahead of the Mercedes. We were waiting for about a second before the Mercedes actually came past us. So there was no point waiting for that car, and it just completely fucked us over, because we finished outside the points. I mean, Lucas Di Grassi got 4th. Karun Chandhok and Timo Glock were in the top 4 and 5. Like, 5th and 6th, sorry. Like, how? How does that happen? I just don't get it. I just do not get this game. Honestly, Lewis Hamilton wins today's race. Sebastian Vettel 2nd. Alonso is in 3rd. Jenson Button 4th. So that kind of means that it's very, very unlikely that we're going to get P4 now in the championship. Timo Glock's 5th. Karun Chandhok is 6th somehow. Mark Webber is 7th. Lucas Di Grassi is 8th. I mean, did those guys not make a single pit stop or something? How on earth did they get there? How on earth did we only lose, okay, about 3 seconds in the pit stop phase, but yet Lucas Di Grassi, Karun Chandhok, and Timo Glock all finished 5th, 6th, and 7th? 5th, 6th, and 8th, like, sorry, but no. Nico Rosberg finished 9th. Bruno Senna was in the points as well in P10. I just don't get it. I honestly just do not get that. Anyway, Bruno Senna 10th, Felipe Massa, myself just missing out on the points today. Any other surprises? Schumacher down in 18th position, and nothing else really to talk about. Right then, Drivers' Championship. And we've dropped down to, I think this is the lowest we've ever been in the Drivers' Championship, down in P7. Is there still a chance of us catching up to Jenson Button? Yes. Yes, there is. I mean, the gap between the two of us now is 17 points. Okay, 17 points. So we need to get 17 or more points than Jenson Button in the final round, which means basically we've got to either win or come second if we want a chance of getting P4 in the Drivers' Championship. Luckily, we're going to a race Abu Dhabi, which is quite good for the driver, because it's one of those circuits like Bahrain where I always seem to do well at. I'm not really too sure why, but hopefully we can get the result that we need to. And then it all just depends on what Jenson Button, Fernando Alonso, and Felipe Massa do in that race. Constructors' Championship then, BMW Sauber in P5. Even though I don't really care about the Constructors' standings, to be honest. But anyway, we are in P5, and we are 9 points away from Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. So we'll see whether we can catch up to those guys in the final round. But that is it for today's Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Right then, no interviews to discuss after that shocker of a Brazilian Grand Prix. I mean, they're probably too busy chatting to Timo Glock, Lucas Di Grassi, Karun Chandhok, and Bruno Senna, because somehow those guys got in the points. I still don't believe that. I still do not believe that those guys did a pit stop and got in the points here today. So anyway, that is going to end this Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the standings one more time. P7 in the Drivers' Championship. We need a race win or second place in Abu Dhabi if we want any chance of getting a Williams seat this season. I just want to have a look at, actually, for a sec. Everyone's got points. Everyone's got points this season. Heikki Kovalainen is beating Sebastian Buemi. Timo Glock is in 17th on 12 points. And those are that he's the best of the back market teams at the moment. Buemi is not having a good season. Neither is Rubens Barrichello, down in P21 for this season. Constructors' Championship as well. If we have a look at that one, where are the bottom teams? Virgin 16 points, Lotus 11, and HRT on 10. So it's not like they're beating any of the other teams. Right, anyway, let's end today's episode. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. For daily Formula 1 content, we've got Rags to Riches free, F1 2017 career mode, and of course, more F1 content coming to you guys next week. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave a comment in the section below. I want to know what you guys thought about today's race. In my personal opinion, it was shit and it was boring. I'm sorry to be, you know, to swear and be a bit blunt about it, but honestly it was just absolutely terrible. There was nothing for us. We had a great start and then all of a sudden we just got absolutely ruined by the pit stop phase, but hopefully we can do better. And I will see you guys next time for the final round of 2010. It is of course the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but until then, it's goodbye from me.